So can anybody remind us where we stop? If you can explain what we did last time within 1 minute, fine. Just pick the key points of this discussion. Anybody? So in summary, we started looking at Bash as one of the recommended scripting language in navigating around Kali what? Linux operating system. And one of the key topic we looked at was variables, right? Started with how to create bash variable using text editor, right? Which of the text editor did we use? The VI. And then we also learned how to change it to executable mode and how to call out the file or to view the output within our terminal. Now, in this section, we'll be looking at bash functions. Let's look at bash functions now that we understand variable concepts. How do we create bash function? Now, since some of us do not have programming basic knowledge before enrolling for the cybersecurity program, I wouldn't assume that we all know what is called functions in programming. Or can anybody tell us? Can anybody share an idea with us what is a function? Across all programming languages, we have functions. What are functions? There's no idea so that I can give us a brief definition before we proceed with the implementation. So, right, functions in programming generally, they are code blocks. They are code block used to perform specific tasks. Used to perform specific tasks. Note, functions are reusable. That is, you can create a function at some point and then reuse it as you continue with your programming. So when we say bash function, we are talking about creating a task. So which means that whatever function we want to create, we need to identify what exactly is going to do. So we are going to look at, we are going to start by creating a file in which we are going to create our function. So if you are writing your step, start from creating a file using VI, where the function will be created. So for example, I will just say what? VI. Say VI, followed by the name of my function, or the name of the file rather, let's say bash. So we want to create bash function. So I have already named bash function. So I will just say bash f, which represents function. And then remember that after doing that, we are expected to specify the extension. And I believe we still all understand or remember what is an extension, right? When you are creating file. That is, you want to save it with a particular language word format. If you simply just say var bash f is going to inherit bash what extension. But if I want to save it with Python, I want to acknowledge this file as Python file. What will I do? I'll put what? .py. So that is why there's nothing wrong without putting the .py. Just know that each time you do not put the .py, you are saving as what? sh, which is what? The bash what? Format. So you press enter, and that automatically open our editor, our text editor. So now, if you can still remember, I told us that when you are working with bash, there are certain standard rules that must be acknowledged. One of them is that you start with what? Hash, right? And then followed by exclamation, and then /bin/what? Bash. That is how you acknowledge that the file is what? Bash. Now, for the next thing we are going to do, the editor will always open in read-only what? Memory, or read-only method. This is not editable or writable what? Format. So how can we switch the text editor to writable format? We type what? I, right? So the I is to indicate that we want to write. I want to write, and then once we have allowed, then we can now follow the rule. Start with what? The hash, exclamation mark, follow, exclamation mark, follow, /bin/what? Bash. Then I'll go down, I can create some space. So the next thing is for me to create the variable. Is for me to create the variable. So what we are actually looking at here is that we want to work with a global variable. Global variable. And I want to believe that at this point, we all know what is called what? Global variable. We have local variable, and then we have what? Global variable. Just to differentiate, since we do not have programming background, you note it down. Global variables are variables that are declared outside the function that can be used by any other function. Global variables are variables declared outside the function code block that can be used by other functions. While local variables are variables that are declared within the function code block, which can only be used by that function. Local variable are variable declared within the words, the function, which can only be used by that function. So now that we know what variable, and I have already told us the syntax of writing variable, that a variable has the name section, right? Followed by what? The assignment, operator sign, and the value. And if the value is a string, you what? You quote it. If the value is a number, you don't need to what? Quote it. I believe you understand all that format. So I will say, for example, number. So number is the name of my variable. Then I will say number is equals to. So I am now listen, when you say $1, for example, number is equals to $1. You can see that I did not open the single or what, the double what, quote. I hope we are saying the script. We are not saying we can off one of the lights. Okay, now, not there. Now, so if you look at this, the number is showing purple color. So it's there after the $sign, in case you are writing, there's a number 1. So what we are saying is that you created a variable that will receive what? Number. Please, you cannot close the window and stay off the lights. I think you can close this one, open this one. You just need lights from this angle. Take it up totally. Take it up. All right. So now once you have done that, you press enter to go to the next line. So this is what you have done. If you are writing your notes, what is number equals to $1? What it means is that you set a variable parameter to 1. That is the meaning. You set a variable parameter to 1, which means that this is a variable that is expected to receive what? Input. So once we are done with the programming, you understand why we are writing this way. So at the moment, we don't know the number. We don't know what is going to capture. That is what it means. Just like you create an empty container waiting to receive what? Value. So now you will not declare the function. And what is the function syntax? The functions we have a name. So the next step is what? Declare the function name. So the function name, I can say pass. I can say pass assignment or argument. Pass argument. Because we said that that variable is set to receive what? Set to pass what? The parameter. So this is pass argument. That pass argument is not a constant. It's just what? A name of my function. Your own can be any name. All right. Now, a function is expected to have a parenthesis bracket. A parenthesis bracket that is expected to receive the input. So now I will what? Open the bracket and then close the bracket. And then immediately after the bracket, there has to be what? Coiling what? Bracket. And then you will now what? Close it. Coiling brackets. So you close it. So there should be the opening one and there should be what? The closing what? Bracket. Which means that the whole of our function, there are to be function scripts. What the function is going to do. Because when I started, I said functions are created to perform what? Specific what? Tasks. And a function in every programming language must have the name, must have what? The parenthesis bracket, and then must have the declaration block. So whatever I want the function to do, I'll write it inside the coiling what? Braces. So what do I want the function to do? I want the function to what? To echo a string. Echo a string. And the string I want it to echo is, I will say what? Echo. Remember that we spoke about what? Echo, which is an output what? Method of what? Bash, right? So I will say echo. What I want to echo is a string. Echo, let's say today, echo today user provide number. Yes. Yeah, that's good. That's why I'm saying it, so that if you are writing, you can know what I'm writing. Echo is a string. Today user provide is a string. So it's in what? Double quotes. Today user provide number. Provide number is, I'll put column. Today user provide number is column. Now after column, yes, today user provide what? Column. Now after column, the next thing is you have to go outside the function. Remember that the quotation must end the entire code. You have to put it there to end the entire code. All right. Now you are saying that this function called pass argument we display what today user provide number is. Then note, anytime you create function must be called before they can react. Are you writing that? Write it down. Function must be called outside the calling brackets before they can output their value. Functions must be called outside the calling braces or the calling brackets before they can output their results. Now, where did I open the calling bracket? Here. And where am I closing it? Here. So I will come outside it. Are you following? I will come outside it. Now, remember here we are supposed to, we can't end it here, sorry, because when we say number is, we have to pass in the what? The variable that we receive the input, which is what? Number equals to what? The number we created outside is the variable that we receive the number and say today, for example, now, when we finish writing the function, by the time we run it, it will ask us what is today user's number. If you type 2000, it will now complete the statement as what? Today user provide number is what? 2000. Now we are saying that the 2000 will have been received by the number as we set it to what? That $1. So you will now reference that number. Now, as you are referencing the number to show that
remove that semicolon, remove the semicolon, the white.
It's not semicolon, sir. Is it semicolon actually? Okay, this very one here.
In white, so that we see what I said.
I will start because I have to start afraid to shift it. Let me go down like close. Like this, have it? In case I forget and it throw error, you will help me to debug. Oh. Don't worry. Now, echo, today user provide number. Now, that number the user will provide, we don't know it yet. But whenever the user provide the number, it should store it here. It will call it from here. That is the meaning of what? You set what? That particular variable to collect what? The user's argument. So now I'll put in this, and then I will call that number, but I will not call that number just number. I will use what? $sign to reference it, to show that what is a variable. Are you following? To show that is a variable. Then before I can now close it with the, let me put the, after the $sign is the number, which is the name of the variable here. So why we use $sign to reference is to tell the program that this one is test. Today user provide is ordinary test. But when you get here, this one is a variable. That's why we added what? $sign. Are we getting it now? Now we can now come and call. I was giving us a note before that each time you write a function, you must call that function by its name outside the calling what? Bracket. And you call the function by its name. What is the name of the function here? Password argument. So you must come outside this calling bracket and call that what? Pass argument. So let's call that the way it is case sensitive pass argument. All right. Now, this particular line, in case you are writing it to your notes, you label it as calling the function. That is what you did here. Calling the function. And when you are calling the function, you have to what? Call it with the name. So let's write that before we proceed for execution. So when calling the function, make sure that you put the parenthesis bracket there. Now, once we have done that, the next thing is to commit this file. Of course, how do we commit the file? We press escape, right? You still remember? Escape, and then what again? Colon, right? Write W for write, and then Q for what? To quit. You still remember that? And that will bring us back to our terminal. Now, for us to view the result of that function, we have to what? We have to make the function editable what? Mode. And how do we do that? We do what? CH what? CH what? Mode, right? Plus, and then X, followed by the name of the function. What is the name of the function? Bash F, Abi, dot what? Dot pi. So where you do not put that dot pi when creating it, you don't need to observe it. That means it will be what? Dot S what? H. Exactly. So now once we have done that, so we have changed it to what? Editable mode. Now we have to enter the directory to call out the function. To enter the directory, you will now do what? Dot slash, just like equivalent to what we did last time, followed by what? The name of what? The function, which is what? Bash F. Bash F. And then once I type it, it's saying that what? Such file or directory does not exist. So just do dot slash bash. We want to know why it's saying it does not exist. Okay, yeah, I did not put the dot, right? The dot pi. Was it there? No, I didn't put it. I think that is a mistake. Let me just take it back. So I will just say dot what? Pi. So still line 8, syntax error. Unexpected what? End of file. This is what we need to debug. Unexpected what? End of file. So I'll simply call the file back. Remember I said what? Line 8, right? So let's go to line 8. Line 8. So it's capturing the line. So unexpected end. Unexpected end. It will be, let's check whether the name is, let me see. So pass. Sorry, I need to switch to insert mode first, or I'll be able to. Argument. Escape. Column. WQ. Back. So since we have already, let's just go to this and see. So you can see it's asking what? Today our user provide what number is. Now, this is what we are supposed to do, which we did not do, so that we add it to the variable we created. So let's do it again. We say what? This. All right. So we call that, and then we let me say this. Dot pi, then put space, let's say 2000. Can you see what happened? As soon as I add my number, today user provide what? The 2000. Now that 2000 was because we created a variable. That is why it understood that, oh, that 2000 is to be stored in the what? The global variable, and join it together with this. Because if you go back, hope you understand what I did. I called that file again by using that dot. And then after this, I wanted to provide the number. So I typed, let's say 500, and then press enter. He said, well, today user provide this. Now, let me take us back to the file so that you understand why it knows that the 5,000 is to be stored in the global variable. So if I go back to this, just watch out. Please, this is where you need to understand it now. If you come back here and I switch to insert mode, look at this here. Can you see this? Can you read out the note I gave you that interprets this? Read out from your notes. I gave you a brief note on this, what this represents. Set what? To number 1. That means what is the global variable, and that variable, that number that you type, this particular global variable captures it. So whatever you type, we take it. You can see that we reference it here. If you want to know that it's not working, remove this $sign from this number, go and run that code, type 5,000, it will throw you error, which means that you have not set a variable to accommodate this. So now let me give us time to execute it before we look at another concept. Conditional statements in programming. Conditional statement. Conditional statements. It's a probability word statements. It's just like you saying that maybe there's a particular item you want to give out, and the condition is that you must be up to 25 years old. So which means that once anybody show up, what is the condition to give out that item? You ask for the person's what? Age. So we are going to build a very simple app, and that app is to expose us to how you can work with conditional statements in Bash. So right, let's look at the app. Develop an app. That is the description of what we want the app to do for us. Develop an app with Bash scripting language. Develop an app with Bash scripting language that check for individual age. Such as if the age is greater than or equals to 18. The statements will be outputted. And if the age is less than 18, another statement will be outputted. So this is a conditional statement that check for 2 different conditions. And these conditions are called what? False condition and what? True what? Condition. Who can identify from that statement which one is the true condition? If the age is equals to or greater than what? 18. That is the true condition. The person is qualified. Right? Now, you see, this particular topic, because I am paraphrasing, because this is not a core programming class. If not, we will have taken this topic under what we call what? Programming control structure. Programming control structure. So in case you don't know, there is no application today that runs that does not use what? Control structure. For example, now your mobile app, try transferring money where your account is 0, whether they will not get a message. How many of us have experienced that? Your account balance is 0 and you type 1,000. You want to transfer 1,000 to somebody. What will you get? Insufficient. That is a statement that somebody programmed that if the account balance is less than or equals to 0 and the person wants to do anything, say the person what? Is sufficient. The value has been stored in the program. So there are so many scenarios where conditional statements is used. So now let's develop the app. So I'll first of all leave here because I have to create a different what? File. Let me enter the escape mode and then column, write and quit. So I will start by creating the file, vi what? What are we creating? Vi app. Let's say what? Vi what? App dot what? File. All right. Now we will start by switching our editor to what? writing what? Mode by pressing what? I. And then we will start by acknowledging the basic standard of writing a bash scripts by starting with what? Hash, exclamation mark, slash bin, slash what? Slash bash. Then we are going to also create a global variable, just like we did the other time. And there's a place where you'll be using comments, where I'll be using comment to explain. And I've explained to us what is comment before now, right? Do we know what is comment in programming? So comments are non-executable code within a program. They are just for explaining your code, either to yourself or to the third party. So if I do something like this, and I write what? Define a variable. Is this a live code or comment? That is a comment. That is a comment. You know, it's just a hash. We did not put the exclamation mark, slash bin, slash. It's a comment. So what we are telling the programming language is that don't bother what? Paying attention to that section. It's just for me to explain what I want to do. So we have to create a global variable. Pay attention here. We have to create what? A global variable that stipulates the age range. So I will say, for example, age is equals to what? 25. For example, age is 25. So just like that place where we did what? Number equals to, right? So this is a global variable. Now, why are we creating this global variable? Pay attention. Why we are creating this is that this is the number that will be compared with the two conditions. So once somebody type 18 years, we'll compare it with it. We'll say something if it's up to that. So let's say what? Age is equal to what? 25 years. Now, I will use another comment to explain what next I want to do. Condition statement. So here is another comment. So I will say conditional statement. For those of you that are writing conditional statements. All right. So now I want to create the statement. Now, there are notations that represents when you write conditional statements in Bash. You start with if. If is a conditional word statement. We all know now because you are not sure. If, because we don't know what the person's age will be. If you use this square bracket to select what? The condition, the square bracket. Now, the square bracket is the age that you have declared out there, right? The age. Are you following? The age, the way you type the age is what? First letter is what? Capital letter, right? And then age. Now, but look up, we are referencing a variable, not a string. For that reason, we start with what? $H, the way it is there, $H, to show that this particular text, why you are not putting it in quotes, because it's a variable that has been declared somewhere. You are only capturing it in your if statement. Are we together? Now, in Bash, what do we use to represent or signify greater than or less than? Greater than or less than. So if I give space here and I say -GE is if age is less than, if age is greater than, so let's say, don't worry, let me write everything, then I'll break it down for you so that you understand. Now, you will now close the square bracket. So after the square bracket, you put semicolon and then you press enter. Now, as soon as you press enter, you will now tab to indent, tab button to indent, and then as you indent, you will now bring in what if the person's age is, let's look at it this way. Please just quickly go to your notes somewhere. Just leave some space. Write this notation there. Hyphen EG means equals to. So that place is what? Equals to 18. If the age is equals to 18, that's the meaning of what? That hyphen what? EG. They are special notation. E for egg, then G for girl. Sorry. Yes, JE. JE. I don't know that your eyes can see that one. I thought people say you are not seeing the board before. Okay. So GE, sorry. So what I wrote there was GE, right? GE means greater than or equals to, please. GE means greater than or equals to. Then all of them carries what? The hyphen. Then hyphen EG means equals to. So if I say age is what? Hyphen what? EG. I'm saying that what? If age is equal to 18. But what are we saying right now? If age is what? Greater than what? That's a true statement. Definitely the age. Is it not greater than 18? Hello? What do they set as our age? So when you say age is what? Greater than 18. Is it correct? So we are going to get a true statement. The person is qualified to collect if you are giving something. Okay, now let's see. There are other ones I just want us to have an idea so that each time we write them, you know what they represent. Hyphen NE. Hyphen NE represent not equals to in bash. Hyphen NE represent not equals to. Not equals to. Hyphen LT. Hyphen LT represents greater than. Greater than. Remember that the other one is what? So sorry, yes, less than. Sorry. What did I call now? LT, right? Less than. Then GT is what? Greater than. Hyphen GT, greater than. Then hyphen LE is less than or equals to. So now let's go back to the app development. So I will say echo. LE, yes, LE, not or equals to, yes, yes. So echo, we are echoing a string, and the string is what? You are qualified to take the class, or you are qualified to register. So let's just use a statement like that. You are qualified to take the class. To take the class. All right. Now, whatever X, S, so I have to go back, S, so we are about declaring the first statement now. If the person is not up to 18, or if the age is not greater than 18, what will happen? S, you go down, and then you follow the same tab, the same code structure. You can see that the statement keywords are on the same alignment. Then their output are also following the same alignment. So now what we are going to output here is you are not. Or I can just say your age is too low to learn now. Now, how do you now end the entire conditional statement? To end it, you write what? F. Sorry, I'm supposed to use echo to accompany this. You cannot just write it like this. So you say what? Echo. Use echo so that you output it. Now, when you are through like this, you end it with F what? Fi. Fi. So Fi is what you use in closing your statement. At the end of your entire statement, you write what? Fi. All right, so this is a simple bash what? Conditional statement. So let's go and run the app and see whether, so I'll enter the escape mode and then colon, enter the escape mode. Then write it and what? Quit. Now we switch to what? Executable mode, ch what? Ch mode, ch mode, then plus and s. What's the name? App dot py. App.py. Okay, so now I will enter the app dot slash what? App dot py. So if I tap, so what does it say? Let's see, there's a syntax error that near what? Unexpected what? Token what? S outline. So let's go back to the file. Debugging is part of programming. So there is a place where it's saying that's what? Near what? X. Okay, so now let me enter the start mode for me to be able to edit it. So let's try something. Let me remove the indent and see whether it will accept it without the indentation. So let me escape again. We'll keep debugging until we get it. So I'll just call so is it the same thing we are still having? That same line. Which one? The S, right? I think that is the issue. No. This one does not have. So let's see. Let me check very well. Line 11, syntax error near unexpected token S. Okay, let me go back there. We should be able to rectify it. So okay, unexpected product near S. Near S. Is it before it or after it? Let me check. Okay, let me check something. Cool. So just write your own and see, maybe I'll just work for you. It is too low. Now I say command not found. So let me check again. I think we are almost there now. But at least it has started seeing one of the value. Now I said that the GE means what? The G is what? Age is greater than greater than 18. What we are supposed to get is it your age is too low. We have age at 25, right? And we are saying that greater than or equals to. I think the result is correct because it's not equals to. The result is correct because 18 is not equal to what? Though one of the conditions is met. The 25 is 25 is greater than what? 18, but it's not equal to what? 18. That is why it outputted what? The S value. So let's try it. At least let's get that value.